The first thing you're going to need is a load of things that you could drop, and then we could try them and see what's going to happen. I wonder what you think might happen when we drop the tea bag, or the seed, or the ping pong ball, or a bubble, or some paper. I wonder what's going to happen. Are you watching? Here's the tea bag. And a bubble. Ping pong ball. Ooh, we're expecting that. And what about... Oh, did you see what happened there? I'm going to do the seed next. And the metal nut. They're landing in the same place. Some of them are moving once they get to the ground. What about the tissue? Look at that one.
So the children are going to make their own bubble wands, and for that you need some pipe cleaners. Very simple. The children, or with adult help, can just twist around to make a different size circle and then fold it round to finish that off. During the experiment they might want to test out different size bubble wands, so this one is much smaller, and then they might want to make a bigger one as well. You will also need some water, some fairy liquid or other washing up liquid, and like you're making squash, make up a recipe of a bubble mixture. So something that's nice and frothy, and the children will be able to make some bubbles with it. They will also have a go at blowing bubbles inside as well as outside to try and see what the difference is and what they notice about the bubbles. You might also like to experiment with different shapes. So this bubble wand here is in more of a triangle shape, and they might like to see whether the bubbles come out differently to the circular shape ones. And you will begin your experiment by blowing some bubbles indoors. The children will make some observations about what they can see, how the bubbles are falling. So the bubbles should be falling downwards onto the floor. They might think about the size of the bubbles, which ones are bigger. Does the bubble wand and the shape of the bubble wand affect that? They might also think about the strength of their breath. So if you're trying to think about a fair test, the children might be trying to blow into the bubble wand with the same strength each time. Once you've done the experiment indoors, take the children outside and give them a chance to blow the bubbles with the different wands, and let them have a go at comparing what happens to the bubble when you blow it outside and how it travels differently to when they blow it inside. So hopefully they'll see the bubble not necessarily falling straight down and travelling along in the wind if it's a windy day, or just moving more gently down rather than dropping directly.
For year 2, we're going to look at which hooped glider flies the furthest. And for this, you're going to need a range of materials. You might like to have a selection of materials already set out for your children to choose from. So we have a range of straws. We have paper straws, we have plastic straws, we have straws of different length and different thickness. So we have a really long one here and a smaller one here. With the materials as well, with the paper, you might want to use cardboard, you might want to use thinner paper or sugar paper. But let the children choose. You can have a selection for them to come and look at. So first of all, we're going to make our hooped glider here. Here's one that we've made earlier. So we're going to put the shorter hoop at the front. So for this one, I'm going to use this material here. Okay, so we have the smaller one up so that there are lots of variables the children can have for this. So they can change the size of the hoop, they can change the length of the straw, the width of the hoop as well. So we've got some thinner strips here, so your children might like to choose to try the thinner ones, and again with the thickness of the straw too. So they can choose lots of different variables for this investigation. When making your hoop glider, you might want the children to work with a partner, so one can hold one end while the other one is sellotaping the hoop onto the straw, as this part can be quite tricky. So for this investigation, Year 2, which hooped glider will travel the furthest, you may want to use this sheet to record your observations with the class. It has an opportunity for them to suggest the variable that they're going to change and to say if they're going to measure in using standard or non-standard units. There is a column on the left-hand side to say what type of hooped glider they're using, and we have 2 columns for you to record the distance, the first row and the second row.